um, only surviving with 3 Hydras out of that entire group. Now Zerglings kind of speed along, and looks like Woobowiz spam the Z key as well. But again, now 2-1 over Outer's 0-0, and that is very scary. But looks like the Speedling's able to surround the Hydras and do a ton of damage. Now going into the main, trying to scout and also do some damage, trying to kill off some Queens. Very, very smart play from Outer. You want to do this as much as possible. Queens are extraordinarily important units, and it just escapes with 9 lives, 9 HP. Very scary. It looks like Outer, forgetting about 1 or 2, could have finished off that Queen, but now it's too late. Woobowiz will be trying to get the gold over here. Outer populating it. Now more Zerglings out for Outer, more mutas as well. It looks like he's transitioning, kind of actually regressing into kind of a mutaling play as opposed to moving forward. We do see 7 Hydras in production, quite the army. But now Woobowiz trying to pull even on bases. The biggest difference in the army, other than its size, slightly in Outer's favor, but the upgrades vastly making Woobowiz the favorite right now. These extra 2 damage, while it doesn't seem like a lot, because of how fast the Hydras shoot, this will absolutely rip tear and kind of murder Zerglings through and through. You do have Outer continuing this little run-by style, but as soon as it hits this wall, none will survive. Zerglings will continue to stream across the map, and we do have some mutas, making sure that everything's alright in the land of Expansion City, but these mutas will be flying across and sacrificing themselves for absolutely no reason. Woobowiz, seeing that this is the time to try and pick off the slower Hydras, does that, and will be continuing to move out, hopefully, if he doesn't lose his nerve. Meanwhile, Outer, again, now with Hydraling as opposed to Mutaling, moving out unwisely without the support of those Hydras, trying to draw units back, but unfortunately, Woobowiz right there with him. Going to be retreating to the Spine Crawlers. Unfortunately, Woobowiz maybe a little bit too wise to that. Will be moving away with that huge ball of death that the Hydras are. Losing him, but at the same time, whittling down both army counts as he continues to make him. Now it's more of a Hydra Roach type of composition. Now getting speed is Woobowiz, and again, 2-1. Very, very scary. Hive Tech, been there for a while. Outer not using it, nor using these drones. No Ultra Cavern, no Greater Spire. Just kind of sitting on it, seeing a ton of minerals and gas, not really doing much at all. We do see a run by here, killing maybe a couple of workers and stuff like that, but not a lot of damage here. Looks like he's going to be expanding again, trying to get as much out as possible, which would help him, but he's getting 44 Zerglings, which is an extraordinarily, in my opinion, bad maneuver. I like to qualify it with, in my opinion, because in certain situations, I can be wrong. It doesn't happen often, of course, but just trust me on this. I can be wrong on occasion, but these Zerglings going to go scout out expansions and see what they can be dealing with. Taking the Watchtower, actually, and that's bad news for Outer. Doesn't want to reveal exactly what he has, but now Outer, using that Hive Tech for something, I swear, he's getting adrenal glands. And that is very, very fun. And now a Nidus network is being built as well. We'll see exactly where that goes. Now that Woobowiz has finally connected his creep between his main and his natural, hopefully he can connect it between his third as well. A Nidus is kind of marginal at best, as it takes a ton of time to spawn, as well as a ton of time to spit out an equitable amount of units. But it looks like Woobowiz kind of going with more of a roach-heavy style here. Hydras are kind of few and far between. Everyone has kind of moved past that initial rush for the muta type of thing. Only a couple remain on the map. We do see that a total of 5 between the two players are actually still here. And wait, what? That's 14, not 4. So 15 total. And actually, that's kind of bad for Woobowiz at this point. Not a lot of Hydras. We do see 8 of them, plus 1 Muta over here. In production, we do see that Outer's trying to get additional gas, which is ever the Zerg quest. We do see that Knight is kind of laying fallow at this point, maybe to take an island expansion, maybe not, who knows. But right now, looks like Woobowiz content to kind of mine out the gold, not take any more expansions, not take any more risks. Not a lot of aggression at this point in the game, and that's actually favoring Outer, as he's able to kind of pull ahead because of the amount of bases that he has, mining bases and otherwise. But Woobowiz with an impressive army, an impressive array of upgrades as well for them, and could get Carapace level 2, which would actually help nullify the adrenal glanded Zerglings that are on the field for Outer. Unfortunately, looks like he does have 1 melee attack, so that makes Zerglings a little bit more deadly, but it's not comparable to having an armor upgrade. Looks like Outer going to be moving out across the map, maybe popping his Nidus down in the corner of this base. That would actually kind of catch his opponent out of position. These speed roaches won't be able to respond quite in time to do a ton of damage. Now Infestation Pit finally for Woobowiz. We do see a fair amount of Hydra Roach in production, and now level 2 Carapace as well. Looks like he's probably going to go Hive just for the upgrades and kind of massing this ton of units here. And that Nidus has popped. We do see that these Zerglings are moving out across the map. Mutas should go to engage, and now this is where the Nidus fails, because as soon as your opponent gets some sort of fairly large composition of units near the Nidus, you might as well just stick a fork in you. You're done. He needs to finish off some tech structures. I would love to see him kind of scoot and shoot over here with the Spire, but looks like he's just going to barely escape with 7 or so Mutas. And Woobowiz being pulled completely out of position would have been a great time to just unload on this expansion with a bunch of Zerglings, but it looks like he's going to get chased away with this 1 Muta dying a little bit. But now, streaming across the map are Woobowiz's Zerglings and Roaches and Hydras and the Muta that died, his corpse, I'm sure. But Outer quickly able to respond and push away, at least for a little bit, his opponent. But now the composition again is more kind of meaty with those Roaches, and with the upgrades that it has, the Roach is able to tank a little bit better than Outer's Hydras. Unfortunately, these Mutas getting stuck up on the wrong thing needs to take out the damage dealers, but being popped quite quickly. Outer struggling to get enough units back in production and on the field. Outer moving across with these Hydras on the high ground. Corruptors belying, or kind of foreshadowing the change to Broodlords in the near future for him. And we do see that Outer will be able to fend this off. But Woobowiz taking the time to expand as well as get a ton more units in production. Hive Tech now. No upgrades quite yet, but we see that level 3 for both Armor and Carapace, or Missile and Carapace, are next. We do see these Zerglings trying to do a little bit of a run by, but absolutely failing, doing only a little bit of damage to the Roach, and that's primarily because of the upgrades. Outer with the base advantage, but not with the army advantage, and that's kind of the issue that you have. Outer relying on these Broodlords to spawn from some Corruptors around the map, and they should be around the main. I'm not sure. Looks like here they are. And this is an interesting thing. The amount of Hydras that are on the map will be quickly able to deal with the Broodlords that have just spawned, especially with the Overseer here providing high ground vision. And now with the streaming reinforcements from Woobowiz, I'm sure he'll be able to do a lot of damage to Outer, and as soon as these Broodlords go down, I'm sure that any chances of Outer winning will go with them as well. But Woobowiz doing kind of poor job focus firing. Now we see them being focus fired down. Perhaps in just a little bit we'll see that Outer has absolutely no chance to come back from this. Some Zerglings production, but that's not going to be enough. Now Missile level 3 being upgraded as well, just kind of adding to that as well. Outer, huge income advantage. We do see that most of his army is actually Harvester's 55 to 39, and Woobowiz offering some advice to his opponent. Work on that macro. I would say that Outer's macro might have been a little better, but the unit composition needed a lot of work. Those Zerglings early for backstabs would have been great, but they were kind of misused. So that is that for Outer in the tournament. Woobowiz will be moving on to the semifinal, right? Yes, because we are in the round of 8, which is the quarterfinal. So, all right, back with another series after a short break. Well, for you, it's instant. So enjoy.